Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I have another storytime style video for you. After the feedback I received on my last one, there was no doubt that there was going to be another one of these in my future. I'm going to be chatting with you while I swatch this beautiful collection from Jellish and Morgan Taylor in collaboration with Clueless. I nearly died when this package arrived. Clueless is one of my all-time favorite movies and it brings back the best memories. Each color is swatched in 1 to 3 coats and all of the polished names, which are incredibly clever, will be listed on the screen as we go. Are you ready? Let's jump right in. So Clueless is a movie about Cher Horowitz and her fabulous high school life. It got me thinking about my own school experience and something that totally changed the trajectory of my life. It's so true that heartbreak, failures, or derailed plans often make no sense at the time, but looking back make all the sense in the world. Growing up, I always wanted to be a teacher. I loved playing school. I imagined having the most stylish teacher wardrobe, making unique and creative bulletin boards, and let's not forget, dreamt about those summers off. To be completely honest, I didn't give teaching much more thought than that. So when I was applying to college, I wanted to go somewhere that catered to teachers. I toured a few schools and my top pick was Assumption College in Worcester, Massachusetts. I applied early action, got in, and was adamant about going there. Before committing, my mom encouraged me to visit Central Connecticut State University, which had a great teaching program at the time. Not to mention, my dad, aunt, and uncle had all gone there. I dragged my feet on our way to the tour because I had already made my decision. There was no way I was giving up my beautiful Assumption. We pulled up to Central and it was raining. They were mulching, and the grounds were a total mess. As we moved through the campus tour, something about this university excited me. For starters, I loved that it felt far away from home, but was still close enough for a day trip. Especially after all of our visits to Massachusetts, I was already getting sick of that ride. This school offered a lot of the same things Assumption did. Plus, I'd be certified to teach in Connecticut, something an Assumption degree didn't guarantee. On top of that, I learned about state tuition pricing. I was blessed that my parents were covering my college education, and though I wouldn't understand the full magnitude of this until many years later, the drastic difference between both tuitions confused me, since both schools had everything I wanted. So I applied to Central. I got in, and I changed my mind about Assumption. I was headed to CCSU after graduation, and I was thrilled about it. My first semester at college was a little tough. I moved into a triple with 2 other girls who ended up being great, but we lived in a dorm with mostly upperclassmen who already had their established group of friends. Meanwhile, my girlfriends from high school were living it up at their new schools, in freshman dorms, participating in all these fun activities, and meeting so many new people. My experience felt nothing like that. 3 guys I went to high school with attended Central as well. We weren't really friends in high school, but they let me hang out with them and the new friends that they were making on campus. I kind of became one of the guys for a bit, joining in on their Monday wing nights and going to their parties. It was nice to have some people to hang out with, but that got old pretty fast. As the semester went on, I felt sad. I hadn't really made any friends of my own or found my place at the school. I spent most weekends visiting my friends at Quinnipiac and UConn, and my love for Central kind of died. So I decided to transfer. I submitted an application to Quinnipiac and got in. I made the decision I was going to start my sophomore year someplace new. I went home for winter break with this plan in mind, and when I returned for the spring semester, things felt a little bit different. If you've gone to college, you know that campus comes alive in the spring. Everyone is outside, there are festivals, events, concerts, and after getting my bearings the previous semester, it felt a little bit more like home. It just felt good to be back. One afternoon, I stumbled across the sorority on campus and was given information about their spring recruitment. Having been involved in sports and other activities all my life, this is what I was missing, something to be a part of. I rushed Phi Sigma Sigma and was initiated in May. All of a sudden, my boring campus life was filled with chapter meetings, philanthropy events, study hours, on and off campus fundraisers, frat parties, socials, and new friends. I tossed my Quinnipiac plans out the window and decided I was going to ride it out. I became the public relations chair, joined the recruitment committee, and eventually sat on the executive board, where I attended national conferences and got to meet other Phi Sigs from across the country. I absolutely loved the hands-on experience, responsibility, and real-world participation that came from being part of this organization. Not to mention, the very best thing the sorority gave to me was a couple of lifelong friends and one true sister. Shout out to my girl Lauren. She's the kind of friend everyone deserves to have and hopes to be. Come junior year, it was time to apply to the teaching program. I had been taking all of the prereqs and shadowing at a local elementary school, but now it was time to try and get in. I had to prepare a thorough application, prep for an exam, collect reference letters from former employers, teachers, coaches, and prepare a lesson to teach in front of the admissions board. Whew, I was stressed, and long story short, I passed everything except for the lesson, and I was denied admittance to the program. Crushed would be an understatement. I had never failed at anything in my life. I always worked hard for the things I wanted, and boy, had I wanted this. I didn't know what to do. I was about to enter my senior year, and I had no plan. I could have tried to reapply to the program, but the stubborn Calabrian side of me said forget it. I was done. I didn't want to be a teacher anymore. I couldn't tell anyone what happened. I was way too embarrassed. That program was the main reason I went to that school. I talked to my guidance counselor and she asked what I liked, and I told her that I loved being the PR chair of my sorority. We determined that I could change my major to communications with an emphasis in PR and promotions and still walk with my graduating class, given that I had to take an online summer course and return in the fall for a couple more classes. But it was doable. Life felt great again. I was going to have an exciting life in PR. Fast forward to my senior year, and life was good. I loved my communication classes and was so interested in the social media boom. Outside of school, everything was simply fun. I had 2 internships, a great group of peers, fun parties to attend, and I even briefly crossed paths with my future husband during this time. At the end of the year, I got to walk at graduation alongside my friends. I moved into a condo with Lauren, and we both started our careers. I began working for a boutique marketing, PR, and event planning agency, and I learned so much. I enjoyed having lunch meetings with clients, attending happy hour events and other fundraisers, and I quickly realized that there was probably no way I would have enjoyed teaching as much as I initially thought I would. I continued planning parties and grand openings, visited local TV stations, and managing social media accounts and blogs for a few of my clients. In 2012, I eventually started a blog of my own. A few years later, when it began to pick up steam, I worked even harder at it. While I appreciated my job, I knew it wasn't going to be my forever. I wanted to be in charge of my own life. I ended up quitting in 2016 to pursue blogging full-time, and I eventually launched my YouTube channel, where I, wait for it, teach people how to do things. All of these quote-unquote failures led me to where I am today. I went to college to become a teacher, and while I didn't leave as one, I left with a best friend, a future husband, and the confidence to build a life that I love waking up to. The slogan at Central Connecticut State University is start with a dream, finish with a future. And though I didn't exactly know what my future was or how I was going to get there, they definitely gave me all of the tools that I needed to figure it out. For years, I was so ashamed of my failed teaching career. I didn't tell anyone I was rejected. I just told people I decided to change my major my senior year, like a crazy person. But looking back, I'm so grateful for all of it. Rejection is just God's redirection, and I believe that wholeheartedly. It's something we all experience at least once in our life, and we can't be afraid to embrace it. If something happened that changed the trajectory of your life, I'd love to hear about it. Was it a lost job, relationship, or a big move? What threw your life for a loop but worked out for the best? Please share it below. I'd love to read your comments. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already done so. Let me know if you're still liking these story times, and of course, which Clueless color was your favorite. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!